Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Hey there, and welcome back to the Dr. Theresa Nicassio Show. This is a place of inspiration, education, and hope for a healthier, more compassionate, and sustainable world. Those of you who are regular listeners already know how deeply committed I am to doing what I can to bring together the highest level of educational and inspirational guests and content to showcase for you as possible. The truth is that we are all on this journey together, and the more we can work together as a community, the better. So if you'd like to make a donation to support the continuance of this program, go to the TheresaNicassio.com website and click on the Donate button at the bottom of the page. If you have products or services you would like to share with my large and growing audience as a sponsor advertiser, you can click the same button or message me directly. My email address is Theresa@TheresaNicassio.com, and my website is just TheresaNicassio.com, and that's Theresa with an H, so Theresa, N like Nancy, I-C-A, 2 S's like Sam, I-O as in octopus.com. Be sure to join us next week when we'll have with us 3 very special guests who will be talking with us about overcoming the impossible. This is going to be a crazy, amazing show. Whether it is related to transcending obstacles related to disability, trauma, addiction, and crime, or going to extenuating lengths to access health care by going abroad. Then in 2 weeks, we'll have Dr. Lauren Brown with us talking about the role of food in fertility and infertility as well. If you have any questions for any of my upcoming guests, be sure to send them to me through my TheresaNicassio.com website or email. Again, my website address is Theresa, TheresaNicassio.com, and my email is just Theresa@TheresaNicassio.com. Today we have with us Jenny Story and Janet Walmsley, a mother and daughter dynamic duo who have a really joyful and empowering story to share with us today. This is going to be extra special since we have both of them with us on the same phone, or actually 2 phones, but at the same time. And they're going to be talking about how autism touched and transformed their lives. And I'm so excited to have them here because I know that autism has touched many, many of your lives, those of you in the audience, and people that you love as well. It may have touched your own personal life or someone that you care deeply about. We were going to have Tico Travels on the show as well. Some of you may know Tico as that cute little polar bear that's been traveling around the world to raise autism awareness. But unfortunately, the time didn't work. But that's okay because we're going to be filling it up very well with Janet and Jenny. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about these amazing women. I'd like to start with Jenny. Despite being diagnosed with very low-functioning autism at age 3, Jenny's story has blossomed. She's turned heads with her achievements, and is continuing to turn heads with those achievements. After graduating grade 12 with honors and scholarships, Jenny attended film school and became a 2D classical and 3D digital character design animator. She recently finished working on a film for Super Channel with her animation and is about to start on another film. Jenny also published her first novel of a trilogy, and the book is called Dysnomia, in 2015, and it was immediately an Amazon and Canadian bestseller. She is currently working on a second novel in the trilogy. Jenny has also won the 2016 Literary Award at the ANCA World of Autism Festival in 2016 and is now the Canadian ambassador for ANCA. She's a real leader in the community. Believing in herself and the importance of pursuing her dreams, Jenny is passionate about inspiring others to do the same. Now a high-functioning adult in her mid-20s, Jenny is living proof and a role model to show others that autism is not a death sentence, but it's actually a rich, fulfilled life sentence. Jenny's mother, Janet Walmsley, was a dental assistant and hygienist for 27 years, who later became focused on her career as an actress, author, and mother of two. Janet was recently nominated for the Best Supporting Actress for a Comedy Award at the 6th Annual Indie Awards in Los Angeles. She also was submitted for a Leo Award, a nomination here in BC. And last year she won the Unlimited Woman of Creativity Award at the Unlimited Woman Awards in Victoria, BC. Since Jenny was first diagnosed with autism in the late 1990s, it has been Janet's mission to not only support Jenny 110%, but also help raise awareness about the positive possibilities autism can offer and not collude with the stigma that is usually associated with it. This is a big reason why I wanted to have them on the show as well, to talk about this. Janet works tirelessly to be a constant rock and sounding board for her daughter, as well as offering Jenny her voice when she needs it. She is also committed to providing all the support and opportunities she can for her daughter, including venturing beyond Canada to research autism to further her knowledge about how she could best care for her daughter. We're talking major resource person here. You're going to want to connect with Janet after the show, I'm sure. Janet is an official spokesperson for ANCA, Naturally Autistic, where she is involved every year with the World of Autism Festival, contributing as a program and red carpet host, voiceover artist, book signing coordinator, and keynote speaker. Jenny and Janet, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. Yeah, we're so excited. We're looking very forward to this, Theresa.
Yeah, this is really special. There's a story behind how we met, but we'll save that for later. But I'd like to start with you, Janet, because, when Jenny was 3, she probably doesn't remember much about those times. But let's just start from the beginning. Kind of, how was it that Jenny came to be diagnosed with autism when she was 3? Was that something you were suspecting, or what happened?
No, actually, I was really in the dark about this. Jenny was born in Yellowknife, and about a year and a half, I just noticed, she wasn't saying words. It was like I thought maybe it was her hearing, and I took her for a hearing test, but she had such fits that we couldn't do the hearing test. And I was actually in the dark. I didn't even know what the word autism meant or was. But actually, in reality, I was introduced to it because of the behaviors Jenny was exhibiting before she was diagnosed. So I didn't even realize it at the time. But it was getting to the point where she wasn't talking. She was just pushing and grunting. She was having a lot of fits. Very sensitive to all the 5 senses, more so than what the average person is. And when she was exhibiting all this, I thought, gee, I have to get this checked. And when I did go to the general practitioner, I must say he was not very nice to me, and was not helping at all. He said, let's just go do another hearing test. And he said, it's the terrible twos. And I thought, mother's instinct, mother's intuition. I said, this just isn't the terrible twos. I ended up becoming assertive and saying I want her to see a pediatrician, a specialist.
Good for you.
And that's when the pediatrician wasn't even with her for 5-10 minutes, and she said, oh, my goodness, this girl is showing signs of autism. And she said, and you, my dear, need respite. So when I was told, it was like being hit by a truck because, I just didn't understand it. I was kind of in a fog. And it was just what the specialist, when I went to Vancouver, because we lived in Vernon at the time, they said, okay, this is what her future's going to be like. She's never going to talk well, learn well, never be where her peers are. I mean, this would make a parent feel lost, with no hope. And it was just really also like negative.
You're right.
But I thought to myself, I wasn't going to go there.
Yeah,
I walked out of that office saying,
was this what the pediatrician was telling you?
No, the pediatrician, yes, that I went to first. She was the one who got me to the specialist. But it was the specialist, Vancouver, who was telling me, all these negative, future negative thoughts of where Jenny was not going to be at. And I just remember saying, I'm not going to go there. And I walked out of his office saying, that's not going to happen. So I never looked back. I just went full speed ahead and positive mindset and searched for everything to find out what autism was and what I could do to help Jenny out with her autism.
Mm-hmm. A real mama bear you are. So we're gonna come back to this because I think there's lots more, and I know a lot of you listening are moms or dads of children with autism, and this is a big deal. And when you get, whether it's autism diagnosis or ADHD or whatever it is, it can be very difficult to get a diagnosis. But I want to shift to you, Jenny, for a little bit. What do you remember about growing up? Because obviously, we don't remember our super early days, but what do you have any memories in the early days?
I wouldn't say really. I didn't really focus that much on my autism. I just, saw myself as like any other regular kid. So, I mean, my mom told me about it and that I was autistic, but I just didn't mean much to me.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when your mom told you? Maybe if you can speak up a little bit more into the mouthpiece, that'd be great.
Oh, okay. I was, I'd say 3 or no.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, 3 is when we found out, but she's asking when I told you, so it would have been around 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're a little younger.
You think a little? Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's funny memories, right? So when you were a kid, then Jenny, you were saying you felt just like a normal kid, and so what was school like for you?
Good. I had a lot of good teachers, and I learned a lot. I loved my creative and fine art classes. But it was hard sometimes because I got bullied by some of the other students at school. And some of the classes, like math, they were just harder for me to learn at times.
Yeah, so you said you were getting bullied, and that can take a lot of forms. One form is being excluded, and you also can get laughed at. Or what was the bullying like for you? That's one of my big passions, is trying to help reduce bullying.
It really sucked because I wanted to make friends and be a part of, playing games and hanging out, but they just, left me out and just made fun of me for whatever I did. I just felt exiled, like I didn't belong, basically.
Yeah, that's a terrible feeling, isn't it, Jenny?
Mm-hmm.
That was a horrible feeling.
I think that's what, was really hard, because Jenny would, come a lot of times to the car, and she'd be upset. And one thing I was grateful for is Jenny would tell me certain things that did happen. And, of course, again, Mama Bear, I would be in the counseling office, the principal's office, to explain, what had happened and this needed to be, dealt with. So I was appreciative that Jenny did talk to me about things that were going on in school. And, the sad part is, she did have some friends who were good to her, but they couldn't be with her all the time. And it's just sad that people didn't see who this young girl was and what a good friend she could be, and very caring, very giving, and also very funny. So that was hard as a parent to see that. And I give Jenny so much credit, because she trooped into that school every day, and she trekked through the trenches. She climbed the slippery mountain slope. She, went to the top of the peak, and she jumped on the clouds, and she's flying now. I just wished she could have been given more of that opportunity when she was in school.
Yeah, and it must have meant, Jenny, did you realize that your mom was such a mama bear and was advocating for you, and when the kids were bullying you and things, did you know that she was trying to make a difference?
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah, what was that like, knowing your mom, you had this mama bear behind you this whole time?
It's great. She's a good mom. I know I can always talk to her to things when I need to, and she's got my back, and she's always supportive of me.
Yeah. It makes my eyes well up. So I think you both know that I'm also a special needs mom. And I was going to ask you what the hardest part of the journey was for you, Janet. And I have a feeling we already have been touching upon it. But can you talk a little bit more about the hardest part or the hardest parts for you of this journey?
Well, I think for me it was reactions from people when we'd be out and about, because I couldn't I couldn't leave Jenny always at home because she was going to have these fits, or, you know, when she was out of routine, or if we didn't, you know, go down the same aisle in the supermarket, or if we didn't take the same route in the car, or with her, she was very sensitive to lights and sound and lots of people, and it got to the point where we couldn't even go, you know, for a treat for a supper. And I remember a couple incidents. I was in the grocery store, and Jenny was having one of her fits, and I was trying to calm her down, and I had two actually older women come up to me and say, you're such a bad mother, and what a bad child you have, and trying to explain to me what I should be doing. And, you know, at first, you know, it used to break me, and I'd, you know, have a cry, and I'd feel so sorry for Jenny. But it got to the point where I said, no, this girl has what she has. It's not that she asked to have it. But you know what? We're going to take out the best of this, and we're not going to have it stop us from going to places. So that's what I eventually did. I realized some of these people probably didn't have any clue what autism was, but I didn't let it stop me take Jenny to public places. That was one thing that was hard to deal with. I know for others, because when we have our book signings or speaking engagements, I have a lot of parents that come up to me saying, you know, the school system hasn't been there for them, the professional, they haven't been there for them. It seems like they've gone down the crack. And I was never an assertive person, I will say that. I became an assertive person because of Jenny and autism. And I pushed for support. I pushed at school, but not in a mean or aggressive manner. And I must say I was very lucky, both in the professional, which I call my dream team, and the schools as well. They opened me with welcome arms. They wanted my opinion and my perspective, because I think a parent's perspective and the intuition, like I said before, of their child is very important for both the school system, for society, and for the workforce, for a parent to be able to be, as I say, our child's sounding board, their voice, their rock. So as they get older, which is a real worry for a lot of parents, is what's going to happen to their children when they get to be 19, 20, 21. So I think that was, you know, the two things, you know, the reaction from people. I feel right from the police force to medical people to schools, I think there needs to be more education on the autistic individual and their parents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jenny, you know, as you're thinking about the autism now, and what does autism mean to you now?
What does it mean to me? It's just part of who I am, and I feel like without it, I wouldn't be the same person I am today.
I know one question she was asked, Theresa, at another interview we did, was if you could have your autism taken away when you were little, would you do that? And Jenny had said no. She said maybe when I was little I might have, but she said not now, because it's made me the person who I am. Maybe I wouldn't have been as creative. Maybe I wouldn't have been such a, you know, into writing. So she really feels that it's, you know, it's given her that aspect in life, and she's enjoying it and taking it to the positive.
Right, and the gifts of that, you know. And you were mentioning, Janet, about, you know, it's a highly sensitive person thing, right? And there's the sensory processing disorder. We have all these, like, labels. And I, as a psychologist, I have a lot of people who come to me, oh, you know, I'm a highly sensitive person, you know, I've got the sensory processing, and I just wish I wasn't so sensitive. And I like to you know, challenge them, and because I'm also a highly sensitive person, and I actually have found that there can be incredible gifts with it. So this is part of, I think we'll be talking more about this as well later, because with that sensitivity is there's an awakeness to life or experiences that we might otherwise never have. Is that your experience, Jenny?
Oh, yeah. Did you say Jenny?
Yeah, well, both of you, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that through Jenny. With her sensitivity. And I've always said through this whole, I call it a beautiful journey experience, even though people say they feel sorry for me, but I don't, because I have never felt sorry for Jenny or myself. We've had an amazing experience and bond through this. And through it all, seeing Jenny's sensitivity, it's really brought an unconditional love for us all as a family and everyone that's worked with her. And people who read my book and Jenny's story say, wow, to look at this girl and everything she's gone through and the personality she has, she stuck through with everything. And we want to do a Jenny. That's the phrase. Because of these sensitivities. Yeah.
That is so great. And you mentioned about the family, and I know you have another son. Was it your other son older or younger than Jenny?
Christopher is Jenny's brother. Yes, he's older.
Older. So how did you find that autism, that Jenny's autism affected the family, including for Christopher? What was that like?
That's a very good question, Theresa, because I speak to a lot of people about this as well, because Jenny's, per se, was not there for us, and we ended up splitting. It was not good at all. He didn't want to accept it. He didn't want to accept it, and he wanted a whole different game plan, and that was too strict for what she had. But her brother and her stepdad, who she calls her dad because she's known him since she was 4, their unconditional love. There's a story, I don't know if we have time right now, but there's a story of Chris.
Yeah, we'll come back to that maybe after the break.
Yeah.
So we'll come back with a story about Chris after this break. More from Jenny and Janet when we return. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
Being inspired by a speaker while learning everyday positive information that you can use to help your life is exactly what Dr. Theresa Nicassio does when she speaks in front of your group. From healthcare professionals to special needs parenting and everything in between, Dr. Theresa Nicassio can customize topics for your group on everything from health to psychology. To book Dr. Theresa Nicassio as a speaker for your group, visit yumfoodforliving.com or call 604-445-6463. That's 604-445-6463.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
Yumfoodforliving.com is the place to get easy allergy-free recipes, all free of sugar, gluten, and dairy. But that's not all you'll get when you visit yumfoodforliving.com. You'll get resources for all kinds of things like wellness articles, videos, podcasts, a blog, all to help you create easy, healthy living. There's even a 50-page downloadable book introducing you to the philosophy of yum. Don't wait. Visit yumfoodforliving.com. Yumfoodforliving.com. That's yumfoodforliving.com.
If you like to spend your television viewing time learning about some of the things that you may have missed in history class, or if history was your favorite subject, then you should check out the link to the History Channel on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page. Order DVD sets by series or by subject matter right from our homepage while you still enjoy your favorite HealthyLife.net show.
You're listening to HealthyLife.net, the radio network that brings positive talk with positive change to make your world a little better.
Welcome back to the Dr. Theresa Nicassio Show. For those of you who are just joining us, we've been talking with Jenny Story and Janet Walmsley about how their lives have been touched by autism. This is a mother and an adult daughter. Janet, just before we broke, you were mentioning that there's a story of Chris that you'd like to share. So for those of you who are just joining us, Christopher is Jenny was diagnosed with autism at age 3, and Christopher is Jenny's older brother.
Great. Yeah, in the whole scenario, we talk of, the children themselves with autism or the parents, but we have to remember that a lot of times there are siblings that are as much involved with his life as well. And like you say, my son Chris, who's older than Jenny, he is, to me, the epitome of unconditional love. He was always there for Jenny and for me. He was giving me breaks, as everyone knows, it's like a 24-hour job with an autistic child, and when she'd have her fits, he'd help me out, to calm her down and settle her down. And he never got mad or embarrassed. He just wanted to be there for her, and he always wanted to say, like, he wanted to wave a magic wand to make her feel better.
Aww.
And never once did he begrudge or was jealous of all the extra time that I did have to give her. I mean, I was with him too, but I had to give her a bit more time. Mm-hmm. But he totally understood. Mm-hmm. So everyone's affected, and we just have to remember to be there for the siblings as well.
Yeah,
and I think the story with Chris was when we decided, hey, we're going to go for a treat. We're going to go out for supper. And we went to this restaurant, and, of course, Jenny was having her fit, and she was yelling and screaming, and she threw herself underneath the table. And I remember we were just getting our food, and Chris looked at me, and he said, Mom, just eat. I'll take care of Jenny. So we went under the table with her. We brought all her toys and her things that she liked. He got her calmed down. He carried her up with her. And I remember him saying he saw people looking at us and talking about us. And he said, Mom, they don't understand. Don't let it bother you. He says it's okay.
Wow, he was like a wise little guru.
He was.
Little Yoda right in your own midst. How much older was he?
He was actually, because I remarried, he was actually 13 years older than Jenny.
Oh, my gosh. What a beautiful, beautiful sweetheart.
So he was going through his teen years. So, I was a single parent. I was trying to do things for him, but thank God he was understanding of my time I needed for Jenny, too. And to be there for us as much as he was.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So in a way, he was a support system. I'm really curious, in terms of how this journey and how you got through. And one of the things you had mentioned before in some of the materials you had sent me and we talked about was how you had looked for, not only were you a rock for her, but how you went wherever you had to go to learn what you could about autism. Can you share us a little bit about that and what you learned, if anything that stood out for you in that journey?
Well, I think, like what I was talking about before, because I was in the dark, and it is for a lot of parents that I talk to. They say, and I've said this too, it's like being hit by a truck and you don't know where it came from. And I think for parents, it's just, as I did, to notice if there's something strange, not right, and don't think it'll go away or it's a terrible twos, to get an appointment with a pediatrician and have them do an assessment. I mean, to me, early intervention from what I lived through is the key. Mm-hmm. Get them out of that world that they're in and get them to talk and socialize and be able to learn. And what I found is, because when I was told that we were going to go to Vancouver to get this assessment done with specialists and a diagnosis, she phoned me back and said it was going to take a year. And I thought, oh, my God, over a year? But Jenny needed help now. Mm-hmm. But what she did is she reassured me that in the interim I'd be given contacts to provide appropriate support and care services. Mm. So that's one thing that personally I want to share with people, that if you have to wait, please find and push for every support you can get in that interim. And being assertive is not wrong. You just love your child, and there's a difference, right. There. Don't ever back down. I actually went outside of Canada because I'd watched a movie called Sunrise, A Miracle Continues, and they had an autistic son, and they were told to put him in a mental institution, and they didn't. And it's everything that they did with him and parallel play and let him be the leader that helped me with who I call my dream team, to get Jenny where she is today, and that was the Autism Treatment Center of America. And I couldn't afford to go there, but they sent me tapes and books and things to, you know, to help Jenny out with her autism and everything that she was, you know, showing.
Great. Well, maybe if you could send me the link and that material, I will add those things, folks, to their website, to the profile page that's on my website, the TheresaNicassio.com. If you go there, you know, you can just click right on the radio shows or click on their page right now. It's on the front page. But and then I'm going to have more autism resources, whatever that Jenny and Janet want to give me, and those will be available right there on that page as well, so that you can have lots of good stuff there. And is this like what your dream team was, or you talked about a dream team?
Yeah, this was the interim, although they worked with us during that year. We had to wait and after. It all started with Darlene Walmsley. She was the Community Care Options Program in Vernon, who put Jenny in a normal atmosphere, per se. I always say all our children are normal. Some just have special needs. But into a normal setting instead of just special needs setting. Best thing we ever did. Then came Gail, Debbie, and Shelley at Brer Rabbit Daycare. They were phenomenal. Fran Wood, she was Jenny's play therapist, and she used TheraPlay, which I highly recommend, along with Lisa, Jenny's speech and language therapist. And Dr. Pfeiffer was her adolescent psychiatrist, and one of the programs he set up for Jenny was therapeutic writing classes, which she loved. And then there was our Respite Angels, and that was headed by Margaret Hudson and respite care workers Lynn Oldfield and Lucy McInnes, who have become our second family, and we're in touch with all of these people still. And I mean, seriously, they all went the extra mile. They worked very hard, and their abundance of unconditional love is really part of the reason why Jenny is where she is today. And I would say, please, I'm not saying this will work for everyone, but it did for us. And I feel they were our saving grace. They were our godsend to have these people be there for Jenny.
Right, and you mentioned about these folks, I think, in your book as well, so that's another resource, people, if you get the book. Which, by the way, folks, there's going to be a special deal that they're going to be giving you, and they're actually going to be giving some free books to a first purchaser. We'll talk about that later, so stick around. But Jenny, I would like you to share a little bit, if you would, about, you got a support group, too, and, when you're talking about being bullied in school, it can be really scary, and you don't know why kids are being so crazy, which there's no real good why, but there's the reality of it happening. Can you talk a little bit about the support group that made you feel more confident and help you believe in yourself?
Yeah, sure. They were always kind to me and nice to me and supportive. They listened to me well and, understand me as, best they could, but they did really good for understanding. They just got to know us and show that they cared for me, and I feel like I just go to them and talk to them about being judged or feeling dumb or different. They just treated me like any regular kid, and I liked it.
Yeah, and they embraced you, and they appreciated you, and they loved you, and that's really what we want to do in life, isn't it, Jenny? Yeah. Can you share a little bit, Jenny, about what you wish, what you would love for any teachers or administrators? What would you love for them to know as someone who's been through the system?
Just to be nice, supportive, listening, and understanding. Just to be able to go up to them and, if we have a question we don't understand, just to being judged or feeling dumb for asking it, just to try to be patient for us and to maybe make the learning fun to learn. And I just want to be treated like everybody else, because I'm just a normal person like everybody else, and I just wanted to see things a little different.
Yeah, that's perfect. And everything we do makes a difference. Anyway, folks, we've got to go for another break. After the break, we're going to hear more about the positive gifts that autism have brought to Jenny and Janet's life. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
There's a book that makes it so easy to embrace a healthy, gluten-free lifestyle, even kids will like it. Filled with heartwarming stories, Food as medicine health tips, easy allergy-free recipes, and creative culinary inventions. The award-winning book, Yum, by Dr. Theresa Nicassio, is your source for all of this and more. So make gluten-free living easy, tasty, and fun. Get Yum, plant-based recipes for a gluten-free diet at Amazon.com. Or visit yumfoodforliving.com. That's yumfoodforliving.com.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com, and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
When you have a food allergy or dietary limitation, Dr. Theresa Nicassio knows it's hard to give up the foods you love, so she decided to put on her chef hat and give you affordable, personalized culinary consultations that will light up your taste buds. You'll explore substitute ingredients so you can enjoy your favorite foods again. She'll even help you make food preparation easy and guide you on your path to healthy living. And to get started, all you have to do is call 604-445-6463. That's 604-445-6463.
HealthyLife.net, the positive radio network.
YumFoodForLiving.com is the place to get easy allergy-free recipes, all free of sugar, gluten, and dairy. But that's not all you'll get when you visit YumFoodForLiving.com. You'll get resources for all kinds of things like wellness articles, videos, podcasts, a blog, all to help you create easy, healthy living. There's even a 50-page downloadable book introducing you to the philosophy of Yum. Don't wait. Visit YumFoodForLiving.com. YumFoodForLiving.com. That's YumFoodForLiving.com.
HealthyLife.net, the positive radio network.
Welcome back to the Dr. Theresa Nicassio Show, where we explore ways that we can support each other and work together to help make this world a kinder and healthier place. And we're here today with a mother and daughter talking about how autism touched their lives, and that theme of being kinder and more patient, and just being loving and accepting of each other, and being curious about who each other is and what our needs are can really make a difference in people's lives. And so there's a real positive side I want to get into, but I wanted to ask you, Janet, were there ever any times when it felt like too much, particularly when Jenny was maybe a teenager? Was there any rebelliousness, or did you get to miss that part of teenage years?
You know, we're gonna go. Yeah, right. I gotta admit, I struck the mother loaf because my daughter has been a blessing, a joy, and I feel very privileged and honored to be her mom, because this young girl is very kind, very giving. I just can't say I really have gone through anything with Jenny as a teenager. I know teachers would say to me, we want every student to be like Jenny. She's so honest, and she does her work, and she works so hard. And she was the same at home. She was very loving, very caring. I think the only part was to get her to quit writing so her hand wouldn't fall off.
Jeez, she's been destined to be a writer.
Not watch the same movie over and over and over. But on the whole, the fits were hard. But see, Jenny grew out of those. That was when she was younger. As she got older, she calmed down. Like, people that knew Jenny before and see her now go, is this the same Jenny? Wow. Because it's such a different person. Wow. The fits were really hard. I remember one time I was taking her to the park, and I accidentally didn't go on the same stepping stone rhythm that we should. And oh my goodness, and she was strong. She would have been about 3.5 years, and I tell you, I could barely get her back. I was trying to get her back through the park to get her home, and it was Christopher's friend who's coming over to see him who saw me, and thank goodness for Justin, because I might not have made it home. Wow. So times like that were difficult, but as she got older, I don't mean to repeat myself, there was a calming, and I didn't have what I'm sure some parents have with teenagers. I mean, my son was he was really good too, but I mean, he had his moments. But I feel very fortunate for the son and daughter I have.
Wow, that's so great. It's almost like you reversed the teenage thing and had that early instead later. But Jenny, for you, were there ever any times, your mom has been a rock for you. She's been your voice when you've needed that. Were there ever any times that it felt like too much, that you wanted your own voice and you could do things yourself? Did you go through that stage or not so much?
I guess, I wouldn't say too much. Not really. I mean, certain things, yeah, for sure. But, no, I'm okay.
So it wasn't too much. Seems like you guys have had an amazing dance, an amazing relationship. It's such a blessing, huh?
Yeah, I think, as Jenny gets older, she wants, she likes to do her own thing, and she wants to do it her way, and I have to remember that, she's turned 24 now, so she has her life, and she's, thinking seriously of, moving into her own place and getting things like that done as well. Mm-hmm. Vancouver's a very expensive place to live, so we're working that out. But but she does a lot. Like when I broke my wrist 2 months ago, wow, she was cooking me salmon meals and chicken meals, and she was right there for me, which I appreciated very much. Wow, that's so great. And Jenny, you were mentioning earlier that basically that if you had the option to not have had autism, that you wouldn't trade it because you wouldn't maybe be the person you are. What do you think you've discovered because of your experience of growing up with autism?
My creativity side. Just seeing the good side of everything in the world, and just like finding little simple things that people might just see. Like, I don't know, let's say nature, like, oh, there's a silly tree, but I don't know, I can see beauty in things like that, I guess. Just little things that people, just look by.
My daughter and we have a lot of friends who one of these beautiful gifts that we've discovered with some children who, from an early age in particular, have special needs, is that there's a tremendous amount of kindness and acceptance. Like you're talking about, seeing the good side of things, seeing the beauty in people, and there's just a lot less judgment. Do you feel do you feel like you've benefited from that?
Yeah, I say so.
And that is a good point to bring up, because I see that in Jenny. I see that in parents who bring to our book signing. We just had one in Richmond not too long ago at the Indigo store, and there was this young boy, he was grade 9. Oh, my gosh. He was so lovely, so nice, so kind, so endearing, very smart, like drawing and that. And when we we help out at the World of Autism Festival that's on every year in October in Vancouver, and that's people from all over the world. We've met so many wonderful people, become good friends, autistic individuals, autistic children with their parents, and it is such a joy to be around the positive of autism, which is why I wrote my book. It was to enlighten and shed the stigma box that's still around it, because these people and individuals are such a joy for our society. They are such a huge asset for the workforce. And I want to shed the stigma box that's still around it and live a rich, fulfilled life. And Jenny, I wrote it too because she is living proof and a role model that autism is not a death sentence, so to speak. It can be a rich, fulfilled life sentence. And each individual and their families can have a wonderful life.
Yes.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, so this is like a great message for society to know about autism. And, is there anything else that being a parent of a child with autism has taught you?
Whoa. Being assertive, which I mentioned. The definition of unconditional love in the dictionary is not doing something for yourself or hope it'll lead to something for yourself, but it's being there for someone else. You love your children, that's for sure, but it brings you even more to an unconditional love where this child, you want to do everything for them. I gave up everything because I wanted to be there for her, and I didn't mind that. You know, we sold our house, we came to Vancouver so she could go to animation school. Everybody else was looking at me, but this is being part of a parent, that unconditional love.
Great. It's an incredible gift as a human being to get. We're going to have to go to a break, but I want you, during the break, folks, if you have access to a pencil or can type into your phone after, right after the break, before we get into the last segment, at the beginning of the segment, we're going to talk. Jenny and Janet have a special gift for you listeners, and so I want you to be able to jot down the information they're going to give you right when we come back. So don't go away. We're going to be talking more about life as an adult, you know, and about their books. They've got some great books. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Being inspired by a speaker while learning everyday positive information that you can use to help your life is exactly what Dr. Theresa Nicassio does when she speaks in front of your group. From healthcare professionals to special needs parenting and everything in between, Dr. Theresa Nicassio can customize topics for your group on everything from health to psychology. To book Dr. Theresa Nicassio as a speaker for your group, visit yumfoodforliving.com or call 604-445-6463. That's 604-445-6463.
If you're like the 8 out of 10 women that say finding jeans that fit is a problem, well, your problem is solved. Lee Jeans has done extensive research, and they have jeans that fit. There's even an online Lee Fit Finder so you can find the right fit for you. Imagine jeans that instantly slim you with a custom fit and no gap waistband. And guys, kids, Lee has jeans for you too. Click through to Lee's Jeans on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and get what fits.
When you have a food allergy or dietary limitation, Dr. Theresa Nicassio knows it's hard to give up the foods you love, so she decided to put on her chef hat and give you affordable, personalized culinary consultations that will light up your taste buds. You'll explore substitute ingredients so you can enjoy your favorite foods again. She'll even help you make food preparation easy and guide you on your path to healthy living. And to get started, all you have to do is call 604-445-6463. That's 604-445-6463. There's a book that makes it so easy to embrace a healthy, gluten-free lifestyle, even kids will like it. Filled with heartwarming stories, food as medicine health tips, easy allergy-free recipes, and creative culinary inventions, the award-winning book Yum by Dr. Theresa Nicassio is your source for all of this and more. So make gluten-free living easy, tasty, and fun. Get Yum, plant-based recipes for a gluten-free diet at Amazon.com. Or visit yumfoodforliving.com. That's yumfoodforliving.com.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Dr. Theresa Nicassio Show, where we celebrate life, love, and kindness, which we are doing big time here today, while also acknowledging the real challenges that are a natural part of living and answer questions that matter to you. Now is the part of the show where we can address your questions. Today we're going to be addressing the big question about autism that so many of you have expressed. What can the future look like for an adult who lives with autism? But before we get into that, as I promised right before the break, we have with our guests today, Jenny and Janet. They have a special gift. I'm going to let Janet let you know what that special gift is for listeners.
Thanks, Theresa. Jenny and I would like to give all you wonderful listeners a promotional offer. You can go to our website and you can order a book, and we'll pay the shipping and postal charges and take 30% off the price of the books. we will also sign them, and there'll be personalized bookmarks with them, too. And to make it even better, the first person to order will get both books free.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you'll just see whoever put the order in first, and then you'll know, and then you'll think you paid, and then you'll not be charged.
Yes.
That's so exciting. So, guys, this is an amazing deal, 30% off plus free shipping. And if you really hustle buns right now, or as soon as you can be if you're the first one, you can get both books for free and with free shipping. So, thanks. That is an amazing gift. All right. So, just shifting gears.
And I should let people know, too, that Jenny and I, for people that are in the Burnaby or Richmond area, we've been asked to be part of their 150th Canada 150th birthday celebration.
Nice.
So that's June 3rd. We'll be in the morning. We'll be at Metrotown in Burnaby. The afternoon we'll be in Richmond, Indigo Store in Richmond.
Great. And what date is that?
That is June 3rd. It's a Saturday.
June 3rd. So that's coming right up around the corner. So mark your calendars if you're in the Greater Vancouver area to go to Burnaby or Richmond to that location. And I think if you didn't send that to me, send it to me after, and I will add it to your page.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, we just found out about it, so yes.
Yeah. So just send me the little goober about it, and I will put it on there. But I'd like to shift a little bit again. This question about life after, right? It's tough enough growing up, but one of the greatest fears we have as special needs parents is, what's going to happen to our kids when they're grown up, right? We really want them to be able to function. So, Jenny, can you talk a little bit about this? You're in your mid-20s, and you're now working in the film industry. How did this come about, and you decided to become an animator?
I went to Vancouver Film School for my 2D and 3D animation, and I just always wanted to be a part of it because I just loved seeing characters or doodles that people drawn out from a piece of paper or a napkin, whatever they have in their hands, and just seeing those characters and doodles come to life and making you feel like they're alive and real, and just creating worlds and stories around them. I just always loved the idea and wanted to be a part of it.
That's so great. And then you've written a book, Dysnomia, which looks like a very, very intense and magical book. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to know what it's about?
Well, how did you come about? And because it sounds like it's a very empowering book, which I think it sounds. I haven't read it, but yeah, sure, chat about it.
Okay, yeah. So my book is about this girl named Layla who wants to prove she can do anything a guy can, and she successfully does it by being the new royal command of her hometown. And then there's this bad guy named Nyler who's attacking the town, but no one knows why. So her and her friends try to go stop him, but he chops in a box ball and drives them off the cliff. And so you think they're dead, but they're actually in this secret underground world.
So it's very magical, guys. So this creative world you've been able to. It sounds like it's manifesting in both your animation and in your book. How do you feel about the future when you think about looking to the future, Jenny?
I'm sorry, I didn't
when you think about looking to the future and your future career and your life, kind of life now that you've graduated high school and you're moving forward in life, what's that like for you to think about that?
It can be scary because you never know what's gonna lie ahead of you. I just try to stay positive and just keep trying to focus on what I want to do, which is be an animation and write my book because it's the first of a trilogy, and I'm working on the second one right now. And
it's so great. Yeah.
Jenny's very humble because she also is going to be in the midst of talking with someone about doing another film.
Wow.
And she also had given me just something she's written out, a little script that I'm going to read over too. So she's always writing. She's always doing something like that. And I gave her full credit because it's a lot of work writing a book and doing film and things like that. And we're hoping to get her trilogy made into an animated movie, like a 3-movie, and then we hope that we're looking at production companies for my book and her story as well.
And that's brilliant. And speaking of your book, Janet, how did you decide to write your book? And can you talk a little bit about that and the process, how long it took and such?
Well, it was a fellow actor friend of mine that had told me about this event that was going on. and it was with Influence Publishing, and we went to it, and we were talking more about Jenny's book, but they weren't doing fantasy fiction at that time. But I explained to her how I thought it would have been really a good idea to write about Jenny and her life journey with autism. And the woman there who owned it said, "Oh, we've been waiting for someone to write a story like this." So we kept in touch, and the following year we did a workshop with them to see if we would be a fit for them, and they wanted us. And then I wrote my book. I was just 3 months into writing my book, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I took the same parallel with autism, looked straight ahead, positive, and away we go. So I was off for a couple of months, but then I got right back into it. And in the next 4 months, I had to get it done because there was a deadline. And Jenny and I wanted to publish and have our books come out together because of, you know, reading my story and what she went through her life, and then her to be right beside me with this novel that she'd written.
Wow, so powerful. Well, you know, just to remind everybody, we're going to be having to come to a close pretty quick here, but just to remind you can, if you order the book like now, is there a certain deadline, or just basically if you can do it, is it within the next week or so, or and you?
Well, I was thinking, you know, for at least for the next the next month or two.
Okay, the next month or two. If you make the order, then you can get that special deal. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you to both you, Jenny and Janet, for the wonderful gift of coming to the show.
Thank you so much.
For having us.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us. It's been a pleasure, and we want to shout out to everyone who's listening for your show, and thank you for listening, and hope we've helped bring out a positive insight for autism and how you can live your life.
Yeah, no, nice sunny place. So thank you all for joining us for today's program. And like Jenny and Janet, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Be sure to join us next week when we'll be hearing inspiring stories, more inspiring stories. It's like we have all these inspiring guests. I love this. So next week we're going to have 3 guests who will be talking about what they learned about transcending seemingly impossible obstacles related to disability, trauma, addiction, and crime, and even challenges to access appropriate health care by going abroad. So if you have any questions for any of the upcoming guests, again, just click on the Ask Theresa button or email me directly. My email is Theresa at TheresaNicassio.com, and my web address is TheresaNicassio.com, which is TheresaNicassio.com. I just want to thank you all for joining us. I'm Theresa, and this has been the Dr. Theresa Nicassio Show. Until next time, have a great week.